And now we are live. There we go. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Hurricane Watch Team is here with your latest update on the tropics. When we talk about Invest 92E today, as you can see in this general area, right here, you can clearly see that this general area is where we're looking after weather and tropical development of weather. I need to turn my camera on. I'm not able to see me. No, it's not working. Nothing I can do about it. It's what it is. Gotta keep moving on. So this is the area of development and tropical weather we're looking at. I'm gonna just put this in full screen so we have a better look and a better idea of really what we're looking at. So in this region, this is just right off the coast of Mexico right here. It's got a high chance of tropical development, and I think that this is not going to bring any direct impacts. However, indirect impacts are certainly a big possibility. Like heavy rains and lots of flooding is going to occur in this area. I think that this is certainly going to be something that we're going to have to closely monitor and closely watch, because the flooding from this is going to be pretty interesting. Unfortunately, it could even be a little bit severe at times. Certainly, it's going to be severe. The heavy rain is going to come down, and there's going to be lots of flooding. Let me just see what the National Hurricane Center is showing. So right now, as of 5 a.m., it's showing about a 80% chance in the next 48 hours. That's 7 a.m. Central Time. And a 90% chance in the next 5 days. This is what the National Hurricane Center is saying. I'm going to put this on motion. So that's just right off the coast of southern Mexico. It's a broad area of low pressure. So there is an area of low pressure. It's very, very broad. Almost looks like wind shears here. Maybe that's just how it looks. Down here, much more consolidated, but nowhere near what we really need to look at, because it's simply just probably what we need. It's producing a light area of thunderstorms and showers, while recent satellite-derived data indicate low does not have a well-defined center. Environmental conditions are forecast to be conducive to additional development. Tropical pressure is likely to form the next day or two, while the storm moves slowly northwestward off the southwestern coast of Mexico. Additional information of this system, including gale warnings, can be found in high seas forecast issued by the National Weather Service. So right now, that is close to what we're watching and monitoring. And we'll also be looking at rainfall and stuff like that. Possible, and the possibility of looking at where this system could go. Something else we're watching. Don't really think it's become much of anything. If anything, probably just a big rainmaker. And then obviously there's this possibility of something developing in the Caribbean. That's going to be something we're going to have to watch out for. Well, because I think of high pressure over the South United States. It's going to keep this pretty far suppressed to the south. And if anything, it's probably going to turn off to the west over the Yucatan Peninsula and into the Bay of Campeche. Flooding rains from that is going to be the biggest threat for sure. Flooding rains, and depending on how strong it gets, storm surge is obviously also going to probably be a problem, depending on how bad it gets. But even if it's a 60, 70 mile an hour tropical storm, you're still going to have extremely heavy rains in this part of the country, in this part of the world. You're going to have flooding rain. You're definitely going to have flooding rain. There's still that possibility. You could even get a little bit of, a storm surge and possible spin-up tornadoes in the outer bands as this approaches. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw that. So I'm going to get right into more about the effects that Invest 92E could bring to can't even think right now, could bring to the coast of Mexico. here. So this right here is a precipitable water. Basically, this is just how much, I guess, moisture is there. Lots of precipitable water. Huge amounts. I'm going to go to model, and we're going to do, I'm going to do a loop of just 5 days. The reason I go past 5 days, because that's where the National Hurricane Center goes out. It's 5 days, and really anything past that is usually unreliable and cannot be given a accurate forecast. You can kind of see where the coast of Mexico kind of lies. Right in here. You can clearly see you can even see some rotation in the precipitable water. It's actually really cool to see. So, really near the core of the system, I think is where they're going to have the largest amounts of water. You can see almost 70 inches. I don't think this is rain. I know precipitable water is precipitation, so I assume this is the amount of moisture falling from the sky. So precipitable water is precipitation. So this is the amount of moisture that's falling in the form of rain. So again, I don't know what period this is over. So trying to figure out everything here, but huge amounts of rain. And you can even see that system spinning up there in the Caribbean, which is certainly something I'm keeping a close eye on, just because of the development that it could certainly be something very, very interesting and dangerous in terms of flooding. So you can really see that system really spins up there and begins to move away. But what I really want to monitor here just noticing how close this gets to the coast. I mean, look at this. Now, I need to figure out, when they mean precipitable water, do they mean 1 hour period of rain, 24 hours? You know, what is precipitable water? I have a lot of research I gotta do. But really, right along the coast, look at that, 40 inches. You go farther inland, you're still getting 20 inches. Yeah, here it is. This is nothing. But really, right where here, what I'm talking about, is seeing that. You can really see that thing spinning up. Now you can clearly see, by the time it really gets away from the coast of Mexico, it already begins to lose its characteristics, its core begins to fall apart, and it's not really producing a lot of moisture. Still producing a good 60 or so. We're talking over 70 inches. Pretty incredible the amount of moisture this is going to bring. So, flooding is going to be absolutely devastating. So, this is pretty serious, just with what we have. I also want to take a look at the winds at the low levels of the atmosphere, 10 meter winds. Those could also be something we need to watch out for. As you can clearly see, you can indeed see the system right down here consolidating. More stronger winds for sure are going to start developing in this region. Go back to full screen. Oh, that's not really happening. You can start to see where the storm is trying to consolidate. You can kind of see the core begins to develop and it begins to make its way to the northwest. And we start to see something a little bit more significant from this. And I do think, a tropical storm is possible. Hurricane really is not out of the realm of possibility. That's still got a good possibility. So you can really see it creates that core relatively quickly here in the next several days. It tightens up, and you can really see here on the southern eastern eye wall, you can really see where you have the most extreme winds. This is the eye wall. This is where you have the most intense convection, and this is really where you have the most extreme winds. And as you can see, this is going to stay off the coast of Mexico. Alright, so yes, this is going to probably bring strong winds, but if you plan to make, I don't know if they do fishing. If anyone plans to be in this area on the beach this time, not a good idea. Extremely strong rip currents are going to be likely. And just want y'all to take a look. Behind it, another system is in fact developing. You can kind of see its core tries to develop, has a hard time really developing. And then obviously, we got that thing that you can see developing in the Caribbean Sea. That's something we're going to be watching. That is also going to be bringing some strong gusty winds. Nicaragua, Honduras is a big possibility. So I really want to take a look and see how intense the storm is. You can really see just right here if we zoom in. You can really see where these winds really begin to ramp up here. This is where we're starting to see 50 to 60 mile an hour sustained winds. Now really on the immediate coastline, I'm guessing it's something like this. The winds are very, 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 very weak. You're not going to be seeing any really strong gusty winds with this. It's just not going to happen. 35 mile an hour wind gusts, I guess, are possible. But this does in fact get much stronger, I guess. Why is the cape on? Never go and turn that on. It just is like, I'm going to turn on whenever I want. You can really see down here where this really intensifies now. Again, they are showing a strong tropical storm to a possible low in Category 1 hurricane, 74, 75 miles per hour. So as you can really see, this storm is really, I think, could become a hurricane. But again, even when we look at where some of the most intense winds are, this is a 40 mile an hour wind line right about here. So just right off the immediate coastline is where they could actually see tropical storm force winds. I also want to take note of this system over here. They're showing this also developing into a low-end tropical storm. Closing in on the 50 mile an hour, there it is, 50 miles an hour right there. That's the northeast quadrant, so you can really tell that that's where we're seeing the most intense storms. So it seems like this storm down here kind of goes this way, but because almost like a Fujiwara effect, I think it's what it's called. This storm and this storm sort of danced around. See that? Very, very interesting to see that. The GFS is showing this to be a relatively an intense system. I don't know why I said intense when I'm like, oh my god, 60 miles an hour. Oh my god, girl, chill. probably 60, 65 mile an hour tropical system. Again, nothing super duper crazy. I think it's going to be sheared. It's just not going to be a super healthy, well developed, well organized tropical system, essentially. We will certainly see, because I mean, this is just June. And so we still have to watch for the development of any other systems that could, in fact, develop in the Caribbean Sea. The GFS is showing something later after this. Again, this is 120 hours out. This isn't very reliable. I also want to show you all the fact that this system right here, I mean, look at that. It shows in just the 15th in like 2 days. I mean, look at that. I mean, we already got a system with closing in on tropical storm force winds. Look. And then probably in just the next 3 days, then this is according to GFS. Kind of rough to even say if this is possible. They're showing close to 40 mile an hour winds at this point. Now, regardless, the heavy rain is going to be the biggest threat, not the wind. And that is something I'm really worried about, is the flooding rain, because so many people, I don't want to say so many people, but the majority of society, I think, organizes these tropical systems in categories. Tropical storm, only 40 to 73 miles an hour. Oh, tropical depression, some rain, some gusty winds, will be fine. Next thing you know, massive flood of biblical proportions. And when you look at tropical storm Allison, I think it was a 60 mile an hour tropical storm in 2001 in Texas. Huge when it came to the flooding. Harvey didn't do most of its damage where it made landfall. It did most of its damage east in southeast Texas, where it dropped 60 inches of rain. So the flooding right here is the biggest problem right here. I also want to take a look at the rainfall accumulations. That's something I'm really rainfall accumulations. That total precipitation. Got to load. And then we're going to take a look a little bit at severe weather and talk about what we think we could really see in terms of severe weather. I'm actually going to just take a look at the Storm Prediction Center on my phone right quick while this here is loading. And I hope it actually does load. WC3 has not been the most easiest thing to work with. Please don't freeze on me. I'm just going to do that and hopefully it loads. I'm going to look at the Storm Prediction Center and see what we have. It doesn't look like we have a whole lot. We do have, I think it's a slight risk for the northeast across portions of Ohio, Indiana, northern Illinois. I don't know what state that is. This is embarrassing. Wisconsin, yeah. Minnesota and Wisconsin are right next to each other. And we got some, possibly some severe weather in Wisconsin. And then obviously, we have some severe weather possibly developing there in North Dakota. I don't know why this isn't loading. What the fuck is going on? I'm gonna close this out and open WSV3 again, and hopefully it works. 'Cause I don't know what's going on. I still need to talk a little bit about the severe weather. Can you please open up for me? Alright, this is the total precipitation that they're expecting to fall over these areas. And as this loads, I'm just going to sort of talk about the flooding threats. Mudslides, landslides in Mexico are going to be a huge problem. Huge threats of problems. Notice how the scale only goes up to 14 inches. Actually goes green. So like, oh, we maxed out at 14 inches. Oh my god. So we're going here along the immediate coastline. I'm guessing the coastline comes in something like this. So you can see, really, you have to get pretty far off the coast. Inland areas over here, I'm kind of worried. I think this is the other storm. This is Nicaragua, it's just down here. So I think there will be some pockets of heavy rain. Isolated areas could certainly see some heavy rain from this, for sure. And again, the flooding, I mean, we're talking up to 10 inches, 6 to 10 inches of rain in some areas. So this flooding is going to be big time bad news. It's going to be really, really bad, and I think I've really covered most of what I think we're going to expect from this. It's going to be severe. It's going to be the flooding. So I think, well, that's going to be it, in my opinion, in terms of what we're really going to see for severe weather. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, don't hesitate. Go in the chat. Go ask. I'm here to answer questions. So I'm going to go over the Storm Prediction Center and talk about what we're going to see today. So again, we already have a couple of storms developing down here. Probably still left over from the daytime heating from... Okay, can you zoom in? We do have this system right here. This cell, I have to actually take a look and see how intense it is before I'm just like, yep, we got our storm. And all the way up here, like way the hell up here, look at what we got. I'm going to actually go over here and click on this, turn this on, reflectivity. I'm going to click on U. So I'm going to take a look at the radar in this area where we do, in fact, I believe, have a severe thunderstorm warning. So, if they've issued it, that means there is a probable reason why they have to issue this severe thunderstorm warning. Just waiting for this load. Alright, we do have hail signatures developing, showing up down here. 1/4 inch the size of hail. This is a special weather statement. Again, there's maximum wind gets to 50 miles an hour. Has not reached severe limits yet. This is still from the daytime heating from the other day. I really don't think this is going to become much of anything. Do have this severe thunderstorm warning, which does have hail of up to 1 1/4 inch size. There we go. I'm going to activate that live scan so we can really see everything. So you can certainly see there is this bit of a hail core right in this area. Right in that area. Lots of flooding. Well, actually, hold up. How fast is it moving? I need to check that out first. Lots of flooding. Well, hold up. This thing's clipping along. I'm pretty sure pretty darn good. Well, that seems to be moving along pretty quickly, I think. As most storms do. You notice how this sort of has this almost this bow right here? This could be a bow echo trying to develop, and that is why they're showing up to 50, possibly 60 mile an hour winds. And I think as this moves east and with the daytime heating, we may actually see more of these if we're already seeing them this morning. So I do want to actually, the closer this is to the radar site, the more accurate it is because it has a half a degree tilt. It's just how radar site works. It's not the best, but it is what it is. So I actually want to take a look at please. I don't know why it won't let me look at it. It's not responding. So I'm gonna take a look and see what the wind was like, but it ain't let me do that. It is moving along pretty quickly now. It's a 1/4 inch of hail, depending on where you are. This one down here is still producing quite some intense thunderstorms down here. So you can certainly see this storm is... she's clipping along at a pretty good pace. As you can see here, it's moving at 31 miles an hour. And so this right here, you can really move this down here. 33 minutes in Waldorf, 57 minutes in New Richland. So, closely monitoring where this is going to go. Heavy amounts of hail by what it's detected. Because this has a 1 degree tilt, it's actually showing half a degree tilt. It's actually able to look higher up into the clouds. Therefore, that meaning that it is able to maybe see something a little bit not realistic. Because you see, as the hail falls, the air becomes warmer. Therefore, yeah, there's going to be some melting going on, and so the hail's going to get smaller. Regardless, it's still going to be pretty big. La Crosse on Alaska in this area. So this is going to be big thunderstorm down here. This is mainly what I'm worried about. This one now has up to 1 inch hail diameter. 1 inch, there we go. As this storm continues to, it seems to be actually intensifying quite nicely. And seems to be certainly intensifying. This storm could certainly bring quite a punch when it comes down to, now right now the wind's not going to be super duper crazy, I don't think. You can indeed see the time periods. This is really what we're looking at with the severe weather right now. I like to do these quick little updates. So really, this is what we got going on here. I want to keep these streams really short, relatively. If anyone has any comments, questions, or concerns, DM me on Instagram at Hurricane Watch Team. DM us on Twitter at Watch Hurricane. DM me through my email at hurricanewatchteam@gmail.com. I don't know why it's not letting me. So this thing is moving at 30 miles an hour. I think is what they said. I think it's moving about 30 miles per hour. That's just the general direction of where it's going. I like the color red a lot. I don't know why. So that's the general direction it's going right there. We certainly can see the fact that there's a belt echo trying to develop right here. Probably some stronger winds beginning to develop in that as this continues to move to the east, northeast a little bit. I should probably. Alright, would you look at that? We now have an enhanced risk of severe weather down here. Take a look at that. Take a look and see what the Storm Prediction Center is saying. Wow, not looking too bad. Day 3. Maybe some weather going on in this area. Day 4. Day 5. Day 6. Plenty of updates coming through, y'all. It certainly seems to be intensifying because it's still severe thunderstorm warned. If anything, it looks like this hail has intensified and gotten even worse. I don't know why it won't let me see more than radar. What if I want to look at mean estimated hail size or probability of severe hail? Alright, well, I think I'm going to wrap that up here. I've really kind of gone over the severe weather and what to expect. I honestly don't even know what to do. This is what we got going on right here with the severe weather. This is what we're looking at. This is what we're watching. And anything that we could be watching for and needing to see because of severe weather. This is certainly something here. Bioecho beginning to develop right there. It looks like really strong winds of up to 50 or so miles an hour. Damaging winds are a possibility. So that's something I'm going to be keeping an eye on and watching the development and the development of the system and see where it goes. These systems go, they should be continuing moving eastward. We'll see more severe weather. I am going to get ready and head to work here pretty soon in about 30 minutes or so. And yeah, that is going to be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you want more weather-related videos. We will continue to make more weather-related videos, and we're going to have more people on the streams are usually in the mornings. Not a lot of people are awake. It's like 7 in the morning, 7:30 in the morning here in Central Zone. And so I'm gonna, when my time is off for work, the plan is those days I'll probably work the most 2-3 streams a day when something is going on. Quick tropical update to give everyone, hey, this is what's happening in the tropics. This is what we got going on. This is what we have to do. And we'll have more people on. We'll have more people on air. We'll have more people doing stuff. And I'm really excited to see where the Hurricane Watch team goes. And thank you so much for coming along. Thank you guys for being here. It's been a good stream. And I will talk to you guys most likely tomorrow because I have work from probably 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. today. By the time I get home, I am not going to want to do a stream. Let's be honest. 9 hours work. No. So that's it. Have a wonderful rest of your morning, and I'll talk to everyone later on. Peace out.